How are things going?
Uh, it's going well.
Okay.
I'm on the coast and had to come to a certain spot just so I can get Wi-Fi because where we're at, there's no Wi-Fi in the area. So had to get in
Okay.
my
Are
truck
you in
and
the trailer?
well, we brought the trailer with us, yes.
Okay.
But we pulled it on a friend's property down here, but they're where there's no cell service at all. So I was like,
Ah,
okay, let's pull back out and come down to the town and do all that kind of stuff. So
okay. Maybe you should try Lynx because doesn't Lynx work all over the globe now?
yeah, either that or yeah, you mean Starlink?
Starlinks, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, Starlink. Yeah, we just got to look into that. So we
Yeah.
originally were going to be staying over there, and then minute last minute change, and I was like, okay, let's just go over there. So last minute stuff,
Okay.
same old stuff, sometimes. But
Okay. What were your thoughts on that conversation with the website and that strategy?
I see where they're coming from with saying, hey, there's no, there's no search word. The search isn't there for us. But yet I also know that there's other companies out there doing $1 million in revenue. And I mean, me personally, I'm doing on track this year to do uh 265,000 right now if I kept on track right now where I was being pretty much a solo operator. And I went back to the past 4 years, 21, 22, 23, and this year. And whenever I had two employees, and that was in 21, just coming out of COVID, we still did 300,000 that year
Well,
with a partial shutdown and stuff and so forth. So, but I also don't feel that why am I putting my efforts into that when I could be putting more, I could use that, just run it just so I can keep paying my bills, make it my glorified job is what it is, and start putting more efforts into growing a different business or looking at another business to buy, which could be an owner finance business, something like that.
okay. I think
So
those
that's
are,
where
sorry, go ahead.
no, that's where my mind has been the past day and a half.
Okay. I see three options. Well, four
Okay,
options now that you mentioned buying a business
okay,
and owner financed. So that's the fourth option. The first option I see is you can keep doing what you're doing, make no changes, you're making money, you're paying your
yeah,
bills. It's not a great option, but you're making money. The second
exactly.
option is to diversify, right? Bring in
Hmm.
bathrooms as an example, or bring in painting, or bring
Yeah,
something else in. But even though it's grout genius, doesn't really lend itself to painting.
yes, yes,
Um, it kind of lends itself to bathrooms, but it's kind of backwards, right?
yeah.
Um,
Bathrooms and kitchens.
and
I can do
kitchens. Yeah.
both. Yeah.
But generally, it's kind of backwards because you're talking about fixing grout,
Hmm.
which is part of the kitchen industry. I mean, it'd be easier to say, we build beautiful bathrooms and we
Yes.
also do grout cleaning, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of backwards.
Yep.
But I think you need to do something there if you want to keep the business um, to go after, because if you're going to spend money on marketing, I'd
Hmm.
rather you see you go after, 20,000, 50,000, or $100,000 bathrooms. Like I said, I have a
Yes.
client in Florida that does $150,000 bathrooms, right?
Yes.
And there's more profit margin in 150,000 or even $50,000 bathroom than there is in
Hmm.
replacing grout and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's the second option. The third option is what you said, finding another business from a baby boomer who wants to retire and and
Hmm.
and use his credibility and his client base to grow the business.
Yep.
But what kind of business would you be looking for if you
That
were
I'm
to,
not sure yet.
Okay.
That there I would be open to anything, really.
Okay. So if
You
you're
know,
open to anything, right?
yes.
If you're open to anything, um, I mean, let's say he's installing kitchen cabinets. He has
Hmm.
suppliers, right? Um, that manufacture the cabinets and your crews install them.
Hmm.
Or he's a painting company and he has crews to do the actual painting. Or he's a
Yes.
roofer and he has crews to do the actual roofing and stuff like that. So that's one option. But all those are more profitable businesses. They have higher
Yes.
margins and the average sale is much higher. Even a painting
Yes.
business, the average sale is about $5,000, right?
Hmm.
So that is definitely one option. And the fourth option I think would be if you're going to invest money into a business, I think you should invest the time and energy towards a very profitable business. Because if you're
Yes.
going to take 5 years or 3 years to learn a new business, invest in the business, and grow that business, I
Hmm.
think it should be something that's really profitable, right?
Yes.
Such as, the painting business
Hmm.
or bookkeeping business
Yep.
or even a custom home building business,
Yes.
right?
And right now, I know even in our area that I'm in, when my accountant that I had, my CPA, that pretty much was my tax preparer, when they retired after me working with them for 16 years, me finding someone new, everyone was telling me we're not taking on any more clients. I think I called 15 people, 15 businesses, and they weren't taking on any more, or they were like, we're about to retire as well. And then I was just talking the other day with a friend of mine who he doesn't own the restaurant, but he helps operate it. And he's like, our accountants can't ever give us what we need whenever I need it. And I
Right.
was like, so I was already like, okay, there, I already know someone else that could use my business. And that's when we were talking, so I would rather invest 3 years, 2, 3 years to try and grow a accounting business where I know there's a demand and just say, hey, you know what? We're going to start using the AI and all this to do things better and teach them how to streamline their business so we can help them. Because I mean, if you get 50 clients at $1,000 a month just to be, you're at $50,000 a month.
Yeah. And you don't have
It's
to leave your
pretty easy.
house and break your
Yes,
back doing it.
exactly. Yes. And I don't even have to be the one doing it because, like you said, I shouldn't be picking, even in that business, I shouldn't be picking up a pencil, doing any of the numbers or anything like that. I should be going in there and I should be the face of it
Yeah.
and operating it. I don't want to be the operator. I should be the gentleman saying, hey, you do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And I'm here for 2 hours in the morning or I'm on the phone for the rest of the day. You can reach me.
Right. And as I said before, we already have a subcontractor with three
Yes.
different plans that will pay you 30%.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, 30% is usually a lot more than running a business, a painting business. Painting
Hmm.
business is usually 10%,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Roofing is generally around 10%.
Hmm.
Kitchens is around 20%,
Yeah.
right? So you're making 30% by not lifting a finger,
Exactly. And I would rather do that.
right? So
Yep.
you just got to make sure you work with a subcontractor, you make sure that the client's happy, check in with the
Hmm.
client once a month, once a quarter at least. Make sure the
Yes.
client's happy, we're not going to lose them. And when you're ready to launch the business, then you hire, 10 bookkeepers. But
Yes.
before you launch the business, you got to make sure, okay, we're going to end your subcontract agreement on, January 1st of 2025,
Hmm.
right? That's when
Yes.
my bookkeepers step in.
Hmm.
You have all the notes, you have, you're part of the conversations with,
Yes.
and when you transition, you
Hmm.
train your bookkeepers, you train your clients. This is what we're expecting. Here are the numbers. Here is everything. and the
Yeah.
transition should go almost seamless.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because I mean, if I know just even mine, I mean, my last account, she has all these journal notes, so anyone should be able to look at it and say, "Here's all the journal notes that we've done over the past 16 years."
Yeah.
So anyone can go back in and say, "Okay, this is new. How were they processing it, and is it the right way? Were they doing it the right way? Even maybe they were doing something, oops, a little wrong."
Yeah.
So
And don't forget, each time the client gets a report, you are CC'd on that report,
yes,
right?
yeah,
So each month or each week, I forget how often the reporting is, because I wanted the reporting often, right?
yes,
And you're CC'd on that. Then when you hire a bookkeeper to look after that account, they look at all the previous notes, they
mm-hmm,
understand how everything's done, and when they take
yes,
over, it should be seamless, right? Because
yep,
they use bookkeeping, QuickBooks Online. You're
yep.
getting
That's what I use.
copies, right? You're
Yep,
getting copies of everything,
mm-hmm,
right? So it should be seamless, right?
yep,
You're the ones,
yeah,
talking to the client. You are the one talking to the client.
mm-hmm,
You're the one saying, "I'm sorry, this week's report is going to be an hour late." You're the one talking
mm-hmm,
to the client. So the client sees you as the business owner, and
yes,
the subcontractor is just your employees.
yes,
Right?
yep,
So
yes.
it's too bad Bobby is not available to be part of this conversation, but I'll send you the
She is,
recording.
yeah, she is working on her and her sister are doing. That's why we're out here on the coast. They got their craft show display, and they're doing it today here on the coast. So I'm like, and all right, they had to be set up by 10 o'clock. I was like, okay, well, that means I can start my call at 10. So yeah, so and I just so you're aware, Bobby is not the entrepreneur like I am, but she's willing to do whatever I say. Hey, we got to do this, this, and this, and so forth, because she doesn't have the mindset sometimes of, hey, I need to do, we need to do this or that. For her to think ahead of what we need to do, no, I need to spell it out and say, this is our list of what we need to do, or give her a list of things, say, hey, here's A through, or 1 through 10. If you only get through 1 through 7, guess what? You start on 8 tomorrow. But now I need you to get 8 through 20 done tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, it's having a list of saying, this is the task that we need to get done,
Right.
and so forth. So, and I mean, I'm that way too, but I write my own list. It's like, okay, here, it's what I need to get done, or this is what we need to work on, and so forth. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So if we started getting leads
Mm-hmm.
for bookkeeping,
Yep.
I mean, I can, and I create a lot of content about bookkeeping. I was just on a
Yes.
conversation this morning about how, and I've got two haters, and I think I've got the two haters to accept the phone call, to jump on
Gotcha.
the Zoom call. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can convert a hater who is a
Yes.
business owner, right,
Yep.
we can convert
Yep.
friendly people,
Yes. More easily. Yes.
right? So,
Most
and,
definitely.
and so far he's agreed in principle to accept a call. And, the agreement is that I'm going to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And when he allows me to respond, I will respond. Those are the terms so
Yes.
far. So,
Sure.
um, but he's in construction. And I
Mm-hmm.
know he's got a screwed up company because he doesn't understand the principles that I'm talking about. He
Sure.
and he specific is saying, bookkeepers only do this. Well, no, not well-trained bookkeepers do a lot more than that.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's part of our differentiation, right?
Yes. Yep.
So, okay. So, well, first of all, do you Jennifer was asking for 5,000
Yeah.
to do SEO.
SEO, and she was like, that was going to be, redoing the web page, and everything, doing the web page, doing SEO and all that. She was figuring it was going to be like 5,000 over the next couple months to do, I don't know if that was all straight up right away. I knew that she was needing money right away for the website rework, which I understand that the website would need some work done to it
Yeah.
and so forth. But I would rather spend $5,000 on starting a new business, or working on going that way and start there.
Okay. I think that work to your website needs to be done. But I think
Yes.
if we delay that for a few months, make some
Hmm.
money from the
Yes.
bookkeeping side, and
Yep.
take 10% off each client and fix your website, because I think
Yeah.
the goal should still be to sell that company.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or at least, yeah, make it, even if it's just to sell it to another guy that would want to do and say, look, it's a profitable business and you can do it yourself if you're younger, and do it. I mean, because when I went to the Grout Doctor's website, the official website for the franchise part of it, they say, hey, see all of our locations. In like Cleveland, it says Cleveland, Ohio, there's like 3 locations just in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, how much is each one of those guys doing? Probably about the same amount I am, about $300,000 a year. But Cleveland also has a population of about 4 million people as well. Where here in Oregon, our whole state is only like 4 million. So, I mean, there's a big difference. So, some would be more profitable but have more competition in Portland, in the Portland metro, than what somewhere else. So, there's ways I think you can make it more profitable, but it's just going to take a lot more work and
Right.
not be as profitable as what other businesses would be.
Yeah. Would you entertain the idea of bringing on someone to replace you
Oh yeah,
with, hold on. That's not the negative yet.
yeah,
With the intention of them buying the business and you financing the business. So let's
sure.
say they come in as an employee, you train them
Hmm.
for, let's say, 3 months or something,
Yep.
with the intention, the carrot is that, they're coming in as an employee to be trained to buy the business, and you're
Hmm.
financing the business.
Yeah.
And whatever terms you decide, they put $10,000 down, or 20,000, or whatever the number is,
Yeah.
and they finance over the next 3 or 4 years or 5 years or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, because I would still even be a steady income for me.
Right,
Because even if I said, hey, pay me $1,000 a month for the next 3 years,
right,
I at least know I'm getting $1,000 every month for the
right.
next 3 years.
And now you're
So
focusing on the bookkeeping business.
yes, exactly. By that time, yes.
Okay.
And
Because,
I even thought of that strategy as well.
okay. Because I think that's a doable one,
Yes.
right? I
Yep.
think that's a doable one, because if you say, hey, you're not just getting a job, you are buying a
Hmm.
business.
Hmm.
Okay. And maybe we should say you're going to be trained for 6 months. Then that way, you've got 6 months to replace your income with the bookkeeping,
Hmm.
right?
Yes. Yep.
Because I think we have to use dates, because they have to
Yes.
see the light at the end of the tunnel,
Oh yeah. Yes.
right?
And that would be 6 months from now would be the first of the year, beginning of the year.
Well, I think it's going to take two or three
It's
months
going to
to
take a little.
find them,
Yes,
right?
exactly. But
And
but you see what I'm saying? We're talking right after the first of the year. You could be running and operating your own business.
right. And I would be prepared to post some videos stating exactly that,
Okay.
to get some traction, to
Hmm.
bring those people. Hopefully we get 3 or 10 candidates. Then
Sure.
you choose
Yes.
the best one.
Yep.
Um, and also the other thing is that that he will probably accept a lower salary,
Hmm.
because we're doing this, because of the carrot. And
Yes.
he's going to work harder because you're training him to do this.
Yes.
but there's also no guarantee that he will fulfill. But
Yep.
you might get, a committed employee for 3 or 6 months,
Sure.
right? And he
Yep.
might not follow through. So you saved on salary, you got a
Mm-hmm.
committed employee for 3 to 6 months, right? And
Yep.
he might say, this is not for me at some point. And that's why
Sure.
I think we need to have 2 or 3 employees, and one
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
work out, right?
One out of the three. Yeah.
Right. So you might get commitment from these people and not
Mm-hmm.
have to deliver anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And where this comes from is I was working with a company, a rent to own company,
Sure.
who gets an extra 30% on rent. And because they don't have a down payment, they want to buy a house. So we created a rent to own program.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people pay an extra 30%, agree to buy the house at 2 or 3 years later, and can't deliver. Meanwhile, the investor, my client, gets an extra 30%, 20 to 30% extra on rent. And a
Yeah.
lot of these people can't close still,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
So he was making quite a bit of money on that extra rentage.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing with gift cards. The reason why gift
Yeah.
card is so popular is, you're selling gift cards, and a lot of people lose these gift cards, which
Lose
means
them or
they're,
don't use them. Yeah.
yeah, which means they're 100% profit,
Yeah.
right? I've got gift
Yep.
cards that I know that are years old. I know I have
Mm-hmm.
them, but I haven't used them,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good strategy. So if
Yep.
you agree, and I'll
I
create a
do.
couple of videos, talking about that.
Okay.
Send me an address, or where ideally, or they don't have to be in your area, because you can use them
Yes.
as temporary to look after areas that you want to expand into as well, right?
Exactly.
They don't
Yes.
have to be
Yep.
your neighbors, is what I'm trying to say,
No.
right?
Which
So
is good
send,
because I don't have very many.
okay,
I don't have very many neighbors. I live in a small town of 1,000 people.
yeah. Okay. So send me an address, or cities that I should promote,
Okay.
um, for the video, um,
And this video is for what? For the
to find
for the
someone who wants to be an employee to buy your
okay,
business.
gotcha. Okay,
Okay.
gotcha. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
maybe
Good.
sit down with Bobby and say, okay, if we do find an employee, because he's going to ask for
Mm-hmm.
numbers, how much do we
Yes.
want? Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And and I would keep the number, I would keep the number realistic. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
because we've never sold a job before, so I can't help you with those
Yeah.
numbers,
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
right?
And I mean,
Um,
there's very little overhead as far as equipment and stuff like that. I have very little of that. I mean, whenever I go on a job site, other than my biggest thing is a floor machine, which is paid off